Hi, I'm Dr. Ocker from Neogenesis Systems and Live Blood Online. So in this video we're going to look at some Darkfield troubleshooting, what to do and what to check if you're struggling to see anything in Darkfield. There are a few things to check and we're going to go through them systematically. And the whole idea behind it is really just to follow the path of light. So we'll start at the base of the microscope and check everything going up through the sample onto the eyepieces and onto the camera. So for Darkfield, as you would remember, light intensity needs to be at its maximum setting. So the light intensity needs to be as bright as it can be. The field iris diaphragm at the base of the microscope needs to be open. So we always leave it 100% open. This is never adjusted, but it is important just to check that it is as open as it can be to allow maximum light through into the sample. Then we're going to go through onto the Darkfield condenser. Now the position of the Darkfield condenser is very important. It needs to be racked up to its highest position as far as it can go. It does stop automatically, so you don't have to worry about the sample or the condenser squashing into the blood sample, but move it up as high as it can go. It also needs to be positioned snugly into the condenser holding ring under the stage. So as you can see there, this is positioned as far as it can go, right up against the condenser holding ring. And we'll tighten the screw again. All right. Now there is a drop of oil on top of the Darkfield condenser, and you'll see that the oil then makes contact with the bottom of the slide, and it then forms a very thin film of oil between the top of the condenser and the bottom of the slide. So if the oil doesn't make contact with the slide, you will not be able to see anything in Darkfield. It's a very common cause for not being able to see anything in Darkfield. Another very common cause for Darkfield not working is if the condenser isn't aligned properly. So we're going to look at how to align and center your condenser in this beam of light so it's completely aligned with the beam of light. All right, so we'll leave all the other settings as they are, and we'll go to the smallest objective, the 4x or red color-coded objective. And as you can see there, we have an area that's illuminated on the screen. Now, if the condenser is not aligned with the beam of light, you would not see a bright area like that. You might see perhaps something like this. So all we'll do is we're going to use the 4x objective, and we'll use these two centering screws to adjust the condenser. If you're struggling to find the illuminated area, it should be a round area, a circular area in the viewing field. If it's not visible on the screen, you can actually look through the eyepieces. Push in the pin on the side of the microscope, view it through the eyepieces, and you should see a circle of light somewhere in the viewing field. We'll use the centering knobs to position that ring of light or that circle of light into the center of the viewing field. To confirm that it is positioned correctly, you can go to the next objective, the 10x, adjust the fine focus so it's nice and clear, and just adjust these screws again to ensure that it is positioned correctly. Right, so if the field is evenly illuminated, then your condenser, the Darkfield condenser, is aligned properly with the beam of light, and you should be able to see. If you struggle at any point, if you perhaps focused on the 40 and you for some reason are not able to see the sample, what we recommend you do then is go to a lower objective, the 10 or the 20, and adjust the focus as you would for live blood and bright field, where you move the stage up with the coarse focus knobs till you're quite close to the sample, and then lower it down, turning the coarse focus knobs towards you. And you should get to a point then where you can see some blood cells, and you can use the fine focus to get it nice and clear. And then at that point you can then move over to the 40x objective, and there's no risk of you making contact with the sample and damaging the sample. The last thing to look for when Checking your Darkfield settings is quite an obvious one, just to ensure that the pin in the side of the microscope is pulled out if you want to view the image on the screen, or pushed in if you're trying to find it through the eyepieces.